Hi everyone, Dr. Ballah here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to Inspiration with Dr. Ballah. It's a very tired evening here in Guangzhou, just from a very long day. Usually done work on Saturday, but I had a very long day today, so probably you see some of the tiredness on my face. But yes, I couldn't cancel this. I have a young man that is scheduled to talk to today, and he has inspired me. He's very talented, energetic, Liberian, and it's good to have him here today and scheduled to talk to him. Like I said, I usually bring people here who inspire me, right, and motivate them and challenge them to do more. So I'm very excited to have with me today a talented young man who is doing great in the music industry. And he's also a Liberian scholar studying here in China. He's doing computer science, and that's not just his focus. He's an academician who is studying, but he has a talent that he's putting into use, and he's doing great here in rap music and just uh, bringing his talent to life, what he's stayed developing himself academically. And that is the thing that really inspired me about this young man. Because from mine, cycle, most of the musicians that I know, the talented musicians, they think academic is not one of the important things. And most of the academicians that I see, we're so busy into book and that, yeah, you don't find us so committed and dedicated to some of those kind of things. But this guy, his ability to be able to combine his academic studies and his commitment to developing his talent is something that inspired me. And I think many young people out there with talents should be able to see this, that they can be able to balance their academic life and also still be able to develop their talent. And so I'm excited to have with me today Matthew K. Delgado Davis. You're welcome, Matthew. You know, he's called the rock star. And
Yeah,
in the Liberian community in China, and everybody know him to be, you already know. So
yeah, you
you're
already
welcome.
know.
It's good to have you here with me today, Matthew.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here too. I'm really happy to be
Yes, so
here.
I was just saying a little about you, who is Matthew, but I just thought to make a more summary in that. I know I get a lot about you. Young man growing up there in Liberia with many siblings and a lot of challenge from childhood. But that is they hold you, you pull through to be here. But I want to hear from yourself. Who is Matthew K. Delgado Davis?
Yeah. So I can say you have already said most of the thing about me, but that's my full name, Matthew K. Delgado David, my full legal name that I got from my parents, and my both parents are Mr. and Miss Gray David, and that full name is Joseph Zawu David, and my mom is Fatu Kanan David. And I was actually born in Bopolu, that's Bapolu County, Liberia, and then later on had to move to Monrovia because of the civil war that started in 2000, 2001. So I actually grew up in the Broadway sector of
Mhm.
Monrovia in Broadway side.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
that's where.
Brave ball. Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in Broadway side, and that's where I I came out. I started my primary school, secondary school, and then keep up until I was done with high school. And then but I started my primary school at the Banjo Central Public School, and then later on I switched to a private school, for Junior Christian Academy, and then later on I also switched to
So
another private school.
that's great. Long story. How did you get here in China and what you're doing here in China?
So after my high school journey, I went to Blue Crest and I was studying computer science for
Okay.
like a year. But then I feel coming abroad won't be most suitable because I'll be able to advance myself because my thought was because back home like they don't have all of the mechanism in place. Even though the school I was attending, they were really doing their best, but then they don't have everything that I will actually need for my course that I was studying. So I thought it
Okay.
wise to switch to come China because I feel in China I will have all of the opportunity and all of the equipment that I need in order to advance my education.
So, which university are you in, and which city you in China? If you won't mind
So
telling
right
us.
so right now I'm in Fushan City and my university is Lion Petrochemical University. So I'm studying computer science and technology right here in Lion Province.
Okay, so this is kind of David and studying computer science here, and he's great. We're gonna come to why we put him here today, and the inspiration that gave him the privilege to be on this platform with me here. I'm going to come to that later. But I want to welcome those joining us from online, from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're watching us from. Want to say welcome. And I see a couple of your colleagues, couple of your Liberian scholars calling, giving you TIU here, saying, you already know. I think that should be Geraldine and Fala. That is the Honorable Deputy National Secretary General of the Liberian Student Union in China. And she's right there giving you her fat. Thank you, Geraldine, for joining us. Thank you, world leader Logan McCarthy. And thank you, all of you that are watching us from China and all of you watching us from Liberia. We want to say thank you for joining us this evening and to encourage Matthew with what he's doing. And so you can put in your comments there. You can join our conversation this evening. We're going to appreciate that. So great. Like I said, Matthew, I think I should use a musical name, Rockstar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyone is okay.
I was following. I read your autobiography from a family of many siblings, and coming from Liberia. I know you're now a poor guy, but definitely, I believe everything hasn't been rosy and greasy.
I told
How
you.
did you put yourself here and pushing with your career, pushing with your talents and everything, and even in Liberia to be in Blue Craze, that means you're a strong guy, right? You get some you get some money. Yeah, but the question I'm gonna ask is, what has been your greatest challenge, especially trying to pursue your music career and also going to school to obtain a career as a young man? What has been some of the challenge?
Like you're saying, the first and foremost thing is the financial stability. So that has been one of the challenge because with my I'm like for my music stuff like I do my music independently like independently. I'm a
Are
like
you
an
saying you don't
artist,
have any
independent artist.
manager, you don't have any sponsor?
No, not at all. Like I don't have manager, I don't have a sponsor, so I'm an independent artist. So everything that I do is
So
out
you
of
say
being
you're
done
making a
by
lot of
myself.
money, my man. You're making a lot of money because to be able to produce all, I see you produce very frequently. So to be producing that frequently, and I know it's very expensive to go to studio and come out, and maybe you need to tell your colleagues, your friends in Liberia, your secrets because guys are struggling to come from studio, my man, and you're here just producing, and you don't have a manager. I think I should be saying congratulations. But yes, what has been some of the challenges? Maybe you need to tell us that as well before we come to the good news. But yes, congratulations. I should be proud of you for that.
Yeah, so that's been the financial problem has been a real challenge, and then Also, trying to balance my music with my study has been another challenge because it's not easy to to try to do two things and like at the same time, and you want to do both of them like almost the same like equally. Because I know my purpose of coming to China is to study, but then I also have this burning passion, and I want to keep sharing that passion and that love with my fellow humans. So I have that if I stop doing it, I feel like I'm having something in me that I want to give to the public, but I'm not giving it. So I try to like do the best that I can, but it's really kind of difficult to balance the two because I have to pursue my education because it's the first and
Yeah,
foremost thing in my life. But then I also want to share that love because there are so many things in today's world that people go through, but music can be able to help them to forget some of those things. So I love everyone, and I like to see people happy no matter what circumstances they are in. So I
yeah,
feel that
I
the
can
music,
see it. I can see that because most of your music, you're always in action. I think I should play something short later on. And you're an action guy. You're always happy guy. You're very determined. I've seen you on a platform where you always show, even though like people are like, what this guy is doing. But every time you was there, there was a show about the last the president emeritus of LCIC Selfish Challenge. And you were always there. You didn't care whether you win or not. You were there sinking and just showing up. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy?
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
that's
So
good of you.
as I was saying, but my parents, most especially my dad, has been really supportive with regard to both my schooling and my career. Cause like I said, I don't have a manager or a sponsor, and my dad have to take care of my school. But then he has been trying to like pop in with regard to my music stuff. So in a sense, I can say my dad is my everything. He's my he's my manager. He's my sponsor. He's my everything. So he has been really supportive, even though they have been difficult, but he has been there like throughout everything. So some of the things that I have to do, I have to do it myself, which is not really easier as we are not allowed to work in China. Like you see, I do music videos, I do some of those common video. Most time I have to pay people to shoot, especially the music video, and because I have this passion and I want to keep sharing more love with people, I sometimes use my like the small pocket money that I get from my dad to be able to sustain myself. I use those money to push, and then with the music, right now I start to earn little by little. It's not much, but the little that I earn from the music, I also invested within the same music. So I use my own my own pocket money and that of the money that I get from the music that I made to keep pushing and pushing. So it's not easy, but I try, and
You don't
I
give
also
up.
realize.
Somebody say giving up is not an option. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not easy, but I have that kind of strong determination, and my mind, the kind of mindset that I have, no matter how difficult it is, I feel I have this as a responsibility, so I must fulfill it. So I try to push and push, no matter how difficult it's gonna be.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. Thank you. And definitely, I know what it means to do two things at the same time and trying to give it the same effort. I can testify to that as a medical doctor. They have so much burden and I have to give my career all and it actually take out of my time already. But on the other hand, I am a passionate person who love to motivate people, who love to speak. And so I also find myself uh, with a lot of speaking engagement and preaching engagement, by the way. And somebody asked me, how do you do that, a doctor? How do you study to even preach? How do you study to go for all this preaching engagement and you still have 18 hours? I like, yeah, I think passion and grace go along with that. And definitely, if you're very smart, if you watch my face, you know I'm tired and sleepy. But yeah,
Yeah, no.
just running out of the hospital. But I'm here talking to you, and I feel very excited that I'm doing this because it's part of my passion. So I know what it means to do two things, three things, and giving your equal effort to it, but you love both of it, you can't allow in or ego. I think that's really great. But on the other hand, what has been your greater motivation with all of those challenges? No money for anyone, kind of sponsor or manager. What has been your motivation to keep it going? And is it? I know you say your father is your greatest supporter, your greatest fan. And I'm proud to hear that. Many times we don't hear this kind of report about fathers. Is usually my mom. But I'm glad I know, mom. Don't take offense. You guys are great, but we should give a hands up to that, and many dads up there should hear this. It's not just mommy should be there, and I'm proud that your dad is your greatest supporter, is your greatest fan, and I believe many fathers up there should be able to stand up also and support what your children or what your child stands for, and I'm really happy to hear
So,
that. But apart from
so,
your dad, who else or what else? It could not be somebody, it could be something. What is the motivation behind your whole musical career? What inspired you in the first place to do music? How do you discover this talent?
um, you know, when I was coming up, I was someone who was like I always listened to music. Especially most time I listen to music when I feel lonely, when I feel kind of drenched, like I feel unhappy, and I listen to music. My favorite artist when I was coming up was Eminem, and he's still my favorite artist. I listen to most of his rap songs, and they really like motivate me. They give me that kind of a strong mind. Like there's a song that I used to listen to repeatedly and never stop. That from Eminem called "I'm Not Afraid." So that song was like something that was glued to my mind. I'm not afraid. So like it motivated me. So I was somebody who came out not having fear for anything because I feel like fear is like a route to being to your downfall. If you're afraid, then you're gonna really be down, really down because people are gonna walk on you. You're not gonna be strong. You can't survive in this world if you are afraid. So that song was something that really helped to build up my mind, motivate me that no matter what it's gonna be, I shouldn't be afraid. I should put in all of my effort. I should do what I can. I should keep pushing and pushing. So those songs that I listened to when I was coming up, they were songs that really make me feel look at myself from a different light. So my thought was like, if people can sing and their song can have such an impact on me or such an impact on me, then I think I too can do the same to have such a positive impact on people, to inspire people, change their mood from a bad one to a good one, from a negative one to a positive one, because that was how my mind was built from the music that I listened to. When I was thinking negative, it makes me to think positive. When I was sad, it makes me to feel happy. Like it put me in that kind of amusement atmosphere. So I feel I too I could do it. Once other could do it, I feel I could do it. So I should do it. So I started with street thing like back to schools, rap battles, street jams, all of those small thing I started with, and then at times I will even sing on a wedding ceremony for people, and but
So
then for with regard to
that's that. This is great. What I know you have definitely some interesting thing there to talk about your whole beginning to the music industry and how you have grown over the years. But is there a particular inspiration behind why you want to see people happy? Do you have a particular story that no matter what, that no, I want to see people happy, I'm going to sing? Is there
so
a particular inspiration behind this passion that you want
yeah,
to use music
like,
to
like
impact the world?
so, yeah, so like I said, the impact that music had on me, I felt like I could also give such impact, like I could have such impact on people's life. So if I could feel that way, I feel that I could do the same for others. So that's my inspiration, my love for my fellow humans, wanting to change their mood from a negative one to a positive one, from a sad one to a happy one. That has been my motivation and my, like, everything, my goal behind my music. And that, so when I do, if I do a song, even if it's one person you're gonna touch, that even makes me happy. So that's how, yeah.
Okay, so we did the last question, and maybe we found something. I'm trying to find something from your album to play. I actually want to play one of your recent just short track you did when you said God did it for the rock star. That's what I want to play. But if you can find it for me, I'll be excited. I'm trying to get it. My hand is not laying on it. But if you can play that shot, if you're able to share your screen, just get up, play that. You played that for us with a freestyle, but definitely I want to hear that God did it. Like, I've listened to many other music you have played and stuff, but that inspired me, especially as a Christian, a believer of God, and see you doing music and all of that. To hear you talking about, all praise belongs to God. That was really interesting. And so maybe you can get that ready for us, and then maybe give us a short a bit of that. And we'll also play something from your YouTube channel if we can do that in the next couple of 6 minutes before we go. But before we go, you want to say something about this? What would be your advice that you give to when a young person who is also talented? And what would be your own motivation you want to give them? Advice you want to give them as to what they can do with their talents?
Okay. 1 minute. Let me just find the gold date freestyle quickly.
Okay, sure,
Um,
that would be good.
okay.
Yes. So what a
Oh,
rock star
I got
is
it. There
funny
we go.
that yeah.
I
Hmm.
got I got it already. Right. So for the music, I see there are some like some young people
So
coming up.
the point I was making is what would be your advice to other young
Yeah.
people out there who has talent, whether music, whether rapping or football, whatever, and what would be your advice to young people out there, especially Liberians and Africans who think, well, I'm talented. They know that. What would be your advice to them as they pursue that talent or develop it? What would be your own advice?
So my the first and foremost things I would like to say is even if you have a talent, whatever the talent might be, you never want to be proud. You will need to be humble because that's the first step to growing. So
Be
first
humble.
in first, you need to be a humble person. Never be proud and say, "Oh, okay, I have talent." So that if you feel proud, then you're never gonna grow. So being humble is my first advice. Secondly, you never want to put your, even though you have talent and you can use it to live, but getting like educated should be the first and foremost things that you should
Education.
do.
Wow.
All right. So you can have your talent and you can do what you need to do with your talent, but your education should be the first and foremost thing. You never want to throw it one side, because this world we live in now needs everyone to be educated. Because even if you are a musician, you just want to go and perform, you still need to know how to read and write. Because if you don't know how to read and write, then somebody might just use you and you will not benefit anything. So balancing your
Wow.
talent with your education is something that you want to take very important as a young person. Don't put your talent over education, because that's the first thing that's gonna make you to be like to know what to do and what time to do it.
Wow. So first of all, if I can summarize what you said, be humble. Be humble. No matter how talented you are, be humble. And I think it's very easy to get proud and if you're a smart guy, you want to feel proud. That's very, very important. But being humble is very, very important. I know even those of us who were scholars during our time, not as they would high school students already studied, but I remember, guys on the quizzing team, on the football team, you want to be like, you're the big guy in school, you get so proud, and then you lost everything. But I think being humble is very, very, very important, right? Thank
Yeah.
you for that. And the second thing you shouldn't put your education secondary because you're talented, because your education is actually what going to develop that talent to take you to places. And so that's very great. And before we go, do you want to do us something? I would appreciate
Yeah,
if you can do God
God
Did It
did.
from Rockstar for us.
All right. Okay. Can you hear it properly? I don't know. Is it clear?
Play again, yes.
So okay? God did. So okay?
It's a little low, but yes.
I don't know if I can play from my phone, but let me see if I can increase the volume again.
You can give her a free start.
Yeah.
Just a few seconds before we go.
Didn't believe in us, but I know God did. You did. God did. God did. Yeah. One time. You know the vibe. Yeah, I'm sitting reminiscing on the top who did. I wanna have the breath of life and things God did. Yes, I'm a God did. But let me tell you, controversy. It all started from the fact that we first did. Tell me about the devil metal races. Believe in him, shall not perish, but have the everlasting life. So you never gonna regret it. All my name is always giving the praise. Oh, I've been true, yes, you've been holding me straight up. Funny demons, but I'm chasing my dreams. All my days, yeah, he been keeping me clean. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my cup and never let you go. No matter what the circumstances, never gonna feel. I'm never gonna see a penny rapper. I'm still a penny rapper. I'm pushing B. I ain't listening to this plan. All the stuff is dropping E. It's a coming from
Wow,
God,
wow, wow.
God, God.
I wanted to join you, but I'm afraid before I spot the whole freestyle.
Yeah, God
Yeah,
did for
but
the
yeah,
rockstar.
a raw talent, a raw talent. I'm great. I'm so proud of you, Matthew. I'm proud of you that way. All of what you, the time and everything you put into your music career, you will stay scatter the timing and stay putting through with your education. To be frank, that's the reason why I brought you here. You're not just one of the rock star who just rocking behind the house. You're rocking on the university campus, and that's what I'm inspired by you, and that's what I'm so excited. And I will be glad if many others talented young guys who play good football will see that you don't have to just play behind the house. You can play on a university campus. You can be a footballer and get a master's and get a PhD and speak good English and do better and becomes the best leader you can be, right? You can be a
So,
musician, you can be a rapper and still become educated, and that makes you better. And so I'm really inspired by you, and I hope you keep doing that. Thank you to all
yeah,
of you who was joining us.
it's
Thank you, Geraldine. Thank
God
you,
doing for the
Populace, right
rockstar.
there. Thank you to Jenem Buna and yeah. If I didn't see your name, but I like all of you joining us, all of you coming there, I want to say thank you for joining us and supporting Rockstar. And those of you gonna watch later, we also want to say thank you for joining us. But it was a great time. It was great having you here today, Rockstar. You already know.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure. And I hope to be
And
back here to talk more on another
yeah,
time.
sure. We hope we can do that another time again. And but let me tell you, music is very important. I personally am inspired by music. I don't sing, but I love music, and music is very important. One of the person that inspired me and motivated me even in my own career, Dr. Ben Carson. And when I read his book, when he was in high school, even in college, there was a guy who was into music, like music. People thought he was going to do his, a career that's just going to be his career. But this was a guy who wanted to go into medicine, but he was into music. And when he completed his pre-med, according to his story, and he went to do his interview for his residency program, the chairman of the department that interviewed him was a musician. And so the first question they asked him, "What do you love to do more? What's your habit apart from academic?" And then he said, "Music." And so the professor said to him, "You say music?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay. So what happened last night? And actually, before the interview, there was a musical concert that night. And so when he asked him what happened last night, of course there was a musical concert, and they went into music. Instead of them talking medicine, the entire interview was music.
About music.
And that's how he was giving us space, because he and the professor connected. He was giving us space, and he went on to becoming America's first black pediatric neurosurgeon, one of the best. But it
Wow.
was possible he couldn't even win that interview. He could have dropped and not becoming a doctor, but because of music. And so he said, nothing you learn is wasted. And so I want to encourage you, don't feel like, well, music. No, it's very important. It could open door for you. It could take you places that you never imagined. So keep doing what you're doing, and nothing you do, people are watching. People see your how humble you are and how committed you are. Actually, the things you say is right in you. I know many young Liberians who are just something else, but you're very humble. And to say being humble is part of the thing you would tell people, I believe that. And so it was great having you, and I hope to have you again another time.
Sure, sure, that sure.
So bye
Thank you very
bye.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
God did for the rock star. God did for the rock star.
So that was Rockstar with me today, and it was good joining Dr. Inspiration with Dr. Ballah this evening, and I hope to see you another time on our show. Good day.